Huples cat. Just in case this is part 2 of my under the dormer prepping stuff from 4.5 years or 5 years ago, I've opened up one of the first of 6 medical cardboard boxes that has been mice infestation, which is why I'm wearing this. This is what I'm saving from that. Some waterproof boots. Ebola thought probably went to getting them. Yellow gowns. Some normal saline. I would not use this intravenously, but for a flush it's good. Various IV start stuff, which is always a good idea. I'm keeping this though it's expired, because it is inside the box, and I would actually keep it in sunlight before use. A 3M medium efficiency respirator. Looks to be in good nick, so I'm keeping it. An opened but resealed dressing container. Actually, I believe this is a suture kit. Yeah, it is a suture kit. I'd use if I had to. Pair of serviceable goggles. Cheap disposable scissors are now rusted and are going out. And the rubber strap has broken on this entirely. So this is now totally useless unless I put a new rubber band on, which I'm quite capable of doing. Some N95 masks in pretty good nick. Box of gloves in good nick. There was a box that had been opened. Mice had gone in and ruined. I opened up the side of this, it's fine. Some basic surgical masks from back when surgical masks worked. Some expired Tylenol that looks perfectly good to me. Same with the polysporin. And bonus! I found this. This is the red rubber catheter I was going on about in my rectal hydration video. And you would put the big syringe there and squirt the water through and then insert it, so there's no air in here, into the rectum gently and not too far with the patient in the left lateral, and give them about, if they're an adult, about 600 mils of warmish water with a bit of salt and a bit of sugar in it, and that will hydrate them. Box 2 of the medical items was in fabulous condition. I can only presume that the top box is the one that's getting the mice in, and 3 or 4 underneath it are not. An absolute treasure trove. Boo-boo kit I was given free, a little bit of tape I was given, bath stuff to wash people with, a shampoo cap with conditioner, and it's actually moist. Surgical gear, some tape, some steri strips to bind wounds, a little suture, some OR sterile towels. Open this up, the towel can be used as packing. It's a green towel, literally, small one. Some dressing fields, some burns dressing, some more burns dressing, some abdominal pads. A whole bunch of stuff to do plaster casts with, plus the stuff to put inside it. Some just general cling. Everybody should have these. If you don't have these, carry them with you. If you've hurt your ankle or your arm in a hike or any situation, binding it with this will let you walk out. Some more pads, some sterile gloves, various sizes, some swabs, sterile saline for squirting, sterile saline for squirting. Yeah, that was a treasure trove. What I'm going to do with that is I'm repacking it in these boxes because it's not that heavy, and I'm putting it inside an old laundry plastic bag for a bit more durability. Okay, another box in great condition. Very pleased with how this is turning out so far, apart from the first box. Most of this stuff came from expired or gone off stuff. People would using dressing materials at work and would notice they were expired. Be in the middle of the night, they would call me, I'd replace them for them. So rather than just throwing them in the bin, which is what most of this stuff came from, literally nurses throwing stuff in bins, I retrieved it. The risk to me, in grid down, is far, far less using material like this than it would be not having it. For example, this is a bunch of non-sterile gauze that you can put in a dry canning jar and make sterile, was literally thrown in the garbage because the patient was infected and they threw it out. They were infected with something called C. diff, which is contact. Very easy to microwave this sort of material, very easy to leave it in the sun, very easy to make it safe to use. Totally in our single-use culture, we do not do that. There's some fascinating stuff here. Another suture material, a whole bunch of stuff for making plaster casts without the inner stuff, the inner cotton stuff, which is in the other box. I'll put them together with that. A bunch of different types of dressings for burns and big wounds, some sterile gloves, different type, some N95 masks, some goggles. This is a skin stapler, so if you have a wound and you want to use staples on it, you can use this. And you have to use these to remove it. Removing them but using scissors, not a good idea. Some more dressings, some normal bandages, some saline to squirt in IVs, but I probably wouldn't. some dressing material, some big dressing material, some red caps for hair netting, probably never use these. This is a bunch of IV start stuff, cleaning material. The other ones were for the hair, this is for the body, and they go solid when they don't work, so that's fine. A few meds I'm not going to get into for various reasons. One of these, you should always have it because it's good, and this stuff is to stop bleeding. Yeah. Oh, this works, these work, these are in good nick. Tylenol I bought was a great nick, and I usually put a lighter in every container. I did not 5 years ago, but I did in this one, and it works. There you go. I'm keeping all the medications separate. I'm probably going to get a Husky system, like I use for my tools, a Husky rolling toolbox, and put all the meds in there so they're in one place and know where they are. But I forgot to mention this. This is called a TED stocking, a thromboembolic stocking device. And you can put this on and it stops you if you're on bed rest from getting deep vein thrombosis and a pulmonary from dying. You can also use those crepe elastic bandage for that as well. That's something you might want to look into. Basic nursing care of the immobile actually gives you a whole bunch of ideas on how to actually look after people who've got a serious illness or a serious injury and grid down. So of course I'm coming across some medications, and I'm not going to show you them because I'm a trained nurse and I don't think it's appropriate to tell you get this and use this. It really is a medical job. But this I'm going to insist that you have in all your medical kit. I think it's very, very important. This is called vodka. And you can have something similar to this, and you can use it and set fire to it to partially sterilise equipment. Not your hands, but equipment before you go into deep wounds. But I have this, so I can drink this quickly if I need some courage dealing with a calamity. Because in grid down, the person who's very ill or had a massive traumatic injury is highly likely to be somebody you know, and probably somebody you love. Now, 2 boxes to go, so this is the 3rd box from the end. And what did I have in this one? Well, there's some stuff in here that I'm going to show you need to remember. Aspirin, if you open it, it smells of vinegar. Do not take it as a poison. Advil I find doesn't work beyond about 3 or 4 years. So these are going out. ASA, enteric coated baby aspirin, whatever it is. Don't store it long term. Store it for maybe a year or two. But if it smells at all of vinegar, do not take it. Tylenol lasts forever, so I'm keeping the Tylenol. These have a bit of caffeine in some of them, which I don't like normally, but it might be an idea. Some big Tylenols there, but a lot of Tylenol. I'll be prescribing that to people and be grateful. Multivitamins. I hope I have more of these. I'm pretty sure I do. I would actually, that's 1 per day. In grid down, I'd take 1 every other day, unless I was sick or I was prescribing them to a patient who's run down. I'd give them 1 a day. Placebo effect works. Various dressings of various types. Some have been open, like this Israeli dressing, because I did a demo on how useless it would be for most things. A little bit of suture. The only real use for one of these, covering a patient who's in bed with blankets on them when they're in shock. Like I say, various dressing materials. Hot water bottle, again, don't recommend that, it's dangerous to use, but in certain circumstances, grid down, I'm going to use it. A bunch of N95s that are no longer available in Canada. I will keep them out and we will use them. And a whole bunch of meds. Gravel, anti-nausea, great idea. Gravel works well to sedate people as well as stopping nausea. Lidocaine is always a good idea to have. This is Pepsid. This was for one of our dogs called Jax who had renal problems, for old Jax. And some other various bits of anti-nausea, but also some Dulcolax. Can't imagine having to use that being a vegan, but there you go. Peppermint oil. Gets rid of mice. Gets rid of overpowering smells. What you do is you put a little bit of it on your face mask around the nose area to try and get rid of horrible smells. You might be going into homes and finding dead bodies. So for that reason I actually do have a body bag. That's for the bits and pieces, and that's to shave them if anybody wants to visit them and say goodbye. Very important appearances. Milk and magnesium. It took me a while to find this stuff. This has actually got a specific use in radiation events, and most of the meds are going into a med box, which I already have multiple, but I want the meds separate. So yeah, all of this stuff is going to go into another blue box. Generic N95s. And 1 TED stocking. I know 1's not much use, but it's better than nothing. And a plastic bag for patients' belongings to put some of the more chewable stuff like these dressings in. Very little was saved from this box because it turns out mice will actually chew through metal containers, which is a shame because these are sutures. And you could make an argument and grid down. I wouldn't throw them out and try and re-sterilize them, but today this is going out. Well, that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, or even better, give me a subscription, because that makes me feel validated as a human being. And if you don't want to, give me a thumbs down. But either or, write a comment if you think something's bad in here, or if you think I'm doing something wrong. Let me know. If you found anything useful, let me know. Have a great week. Today's exciting video has been brought to you by Wolfie Terrier Productions 2021. Wooly! Wooly! Meow!